Hi, I'm Bebe.
And I'm Stephen.
And we are
Just Another Knitting Podcast.
Welcome back. And welcome to our new viewers. We thought we've had a few new people joining the channel recently, so we thought we'd take a minute just to introduce ourselves. So everyone who already knows us, you can tune this out. You've heard the story before. But we thought we'd go into a little bit more detail. One of the things when I'm watching podcasts is I quite like knowing a little bit about who they are as people. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about who we are. I'll start.
Yep, go.
So, it all began on November the 24th. No, I won't start there. So we both live in Christchurch. We've both lived in Christchurch all our lives.
New Zealand.
Christchurch, New Zealand, not the other Christchurch.
Yeah, though we have been there.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we both like to travel. Introductions immediately derailed by side conversations. Anyway, anyone doing maths knows, I may have said previously on the podcast, I'm 52. I'm not 54. I'm 52. But I also, you're 54. I have a 35-year-old and a 33-year-old. The 33-year-old is probably watching. Hello, Megan. And if you're doing maths, then I'm just going to come out and say that, yes, I was a teenage mother. So I had 2 children in my teens when I was 15 and then when I was 19. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything more about that, but I loved being a young mother and I'm reaping the rewards of that now, having 2 beautiful adult children who are both married and have their own children. So I feel very blessed and lucky for what was a difficult period of my life, having come out so well. And we also have Bronwyn, who's Stephen's daughter.
Yep, Bronwyn, she's 24.
Yeah, easy to remember because she was born in 2000.
That's right, yep.
And then we also have 3 grandchildren and 1 on the way. So 1 that's due tomorrow.
Yes.
And we're hoping to hear any day about that new little bubba.
Yeah, very, very close.
Yes. And what we do for jobs. So we do both have full-time jobs. We don't just sit at home and knit, contrary to popular belief. I started out life when my children were young. I went to I didn't finish high school, but I went back to university, and then I spent. So I did I did a master's degree in sociology, and then spent 10 years teaching sociology at university as a junior lecturer. And
Is that why you're so good at talking?
yeah, that's why I like to talk a lot. I absolutely loved teaching, large format classrooms, microphone, kind of entertaining a crowd. That was kind of my thing. I really enjoyed it. And then I took a break from that and kind of fell into project management and was a project management for a learning company for another 10 years before I took a bit of a left turn from that. And then now I work for a health organisation as I run a project management office. So I have a team of amazing project management staff. If you want to have self-managing staff, employ project managers because they manage me as much as I manage them. It's amazing. So we have a really great little crew. So that's kind of a bit of a summary of me. My job is really busy and I really love it. I love being a project manager. I love everything that comes with, I go into work on Monday and I have no idea what's going to happen that day. I have a plan immediately goes out the window. I'm doing a million things and, that's what I love to do.
And me, well, my path was a lot simpler and a lot more boring, I guess. I went through all of the school. I
finished high school, amazing.
I did and got a bachelor's degree in commerce. I thought I was going to be an accountant, and that was the be all and end all because I love spreadsheets and numbers and maths.
Thank goodness someone in the family does.
Yeah, so I did take a left hand turn there though, and I didn't go into accounting. Instead, I went into banking. So I spent 10 years working for a couple of banks in Christchurch. Got into commercial banking. Decided that really wasn't my jam, so I thought IT was the way to go. So I have done some courses in IT, I guess, bit of programming, bit of systems and things, super exciting stuff. not. So I went and worked for a small IT company in Christchurch, and one of the things that you'll quickly learn if you're in that industry is it's quite brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ups and downs. It's really tough. There was a shortage of microchips, which basically derailed the entire income streams. And so I got laid off from there and went back to finance. So effectively,
Which you've been doing that for the last 25 years.
yeah, I joined New Zealand's Caterpillar dealership. They had their own finance company, and so I worked there for 18 years, and eventually was running the finance company. So that was really challenging and interesting. I've done all aspects, the good, the bad, and the ugly from finance. And then they got purchased by an international company because it was previously just a locally owned family business, and they didn't need a finance company anymore. So now I look after the administration team for all of the dealership sales. So I've got a very small team of hardworking people, and yeah, we look after the sales for New Zealand's Caterpillars, heavy equipment. So
Yes.
that's what I...
Forestry and mining equipment.
Yeah.
Big trucks.
Yeah, and yeah, we mentioned Bronwyn, so she's my 24-year-old. I met Bebe when we were in our mid to late 30s, and yeah, we've been happily married ever since.
Yeah. Since 2011.
Indeed.
Met in 2009, got married in 2011.
Yep, about a week after the Christchurch earthquake, which is a
Let's not
whole
talk
other
about
story.
that.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's a quite a long history of us.
Sorry.
If you've skipped through that, welcome back.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you fell asleep.
Yeah, skip.
So the other thing to talk about for our returning viewers is that you will see we have a new background.
Yes.
And there is a story behind that. So we usually, I had been keeping my yarn in kind of felt containers, just kind of storing it in because I like to be able to play with it and see it and touch it. And then one day, you know what's coming, I found a moth.
Yeah.
There was a moth kind of flying around in the room, and then I lost it. I was gonna set it free because I didn't want to kill it because the moth didn't do anything wrong. It's just living its best moth life. And then a couple of days later, I found it on top of a ball of yarn, in one of the little bins, and so I caught it and set it free. And then I went through the yarn, and it didn't look like I couldn't see any sign of any eggs. Like you should be able to see them, I think. So I was like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. And then I was like, oh, I need to have another look. So I had a look through all of the bins, and I found another moth. Oh, and I didn't know if it was a hatched moth or what. So,
24 hours later.
So what I did was what a lot of people suggested, and Andrew Maori had suggested this in a podcast a previous couple of weeks to when this happened, was to put it all in the freezer. So I did that. So all of our yarn was a lot of our yarn was in the freezer. Some of it was in packs and it was covered or whatever, so I wasn't too worried about it. And I went through everything. I went through every ball of yarn just to check it, to see there was nothing there, and then immediately went and purchased these fine things. So these are IKEA Billy shelving. We don't have IKEA in New Zealand at the moment, but we have stockists who sell it. So I went and got some of that and assembled it and put all the yarn in it. I kind of haven't arranged it yet. You'll see it's kind of like a bit all over the place. But I do feel a little bit happier. And we do still have some bins, but everything in the bins are in plastic bags now.
Yeah. And you'll be able to see any moths in the window if...
Yeah, that's right. If they start hatching, we'll be able to see them. And actually the yarn, the bin that the moths were in, I've got that yarn still in plastic bags. So if anything hatches out of them, it'll just destroy. And I put them in small plastic bags. It'll be quite contained within about 8 balls of yarn. So fingers crossed, no infestations. And I mean, there are some cracks through the doors, but I think you'd have to be a very enterprising moth to get into the yard. And the other thing that people have mentioned is that they don't like strong smells. Like you're supposed to use those mothballs, but I'm going to get some lavender bags. I have one that I was gifted in Rhinebeck, but I will get some more lavender bags and put those in with the yarn because that's supposed to keep them away. So that's the story.
Yep.
I absolutely love these shelves. They're amazing. I've actually been able to bring all my yarn together. There's a lot of room in these shelves. So this is most of my stash. I've still got a couple of stashes in other spots.
Yeah,
but
it's a couple of rooms still with yarn. There's
between
my stash in another room.
Well, that
so.
gets stashed completely separately.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to accidentally knit some of Stephen's lovely yarn. But so over the Christmas break, I'll take a couple of weeks off at Christmas. Then I'll probably get the rest of the yarn out and collate it all into one spot.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, in subsequent episodes, you're going to see them move from container to container or from shelf to shelf. Maybe they'll be colour coordinated. Maybe they'll be weight coordinated. Who knows?
At the moment they're kind of broadly weight and type. So we've got Wild Earth yarn and Outlaw yarn, Shetland yarn, mohair and other random yarn. There's actually still a lot of random, but we're getting there. Anyway, enough on that.
It'll be a fun game at some point. It'll be
it's my happy place. As I said, I'm a project manager, so this is just like another opportunity to organise something. I'm very happy. I'm really looking forward to doing that in the summertime.
I know. Right.
All right, actually into the show, 12 minutes in. Oops.
Oh well.
And talking about what we're wearing. What are you wearing, Stephen?
Okay, so today I'm wearing, I won't say my first raglan, but it's called First Raglan Sweater by Jared Flood. You've talked about this a little bit before.
It has made an appearance on the show because
Yes.
when I talked about mine, I held it up.
Yeah, so this one has been. This is the one that was knitted in La Bien-Aimée Corrie worsted.
It's a beautiful yarn.
Yeah, and it's
but
really...
we noted at the time, I had it sitting on my knees and it was prickling through my pants.
It was really scratchy, so... but anyway, so I just thought I'd have a little chat about it. I felt a little bit guilty last time we mentioned it, so I have worn this a lot more since the last episode. Because I really do like it. I mean...
the colour is...
I know, that's the thing I like about this. I mean, Amy from La Bien-Aimée is a master there in terms of the colour. It was the first thing and only thing I've ever really knit in La Bien-Aimée. It was... The Corrie worsted is... they say on their website it's their first worsted yarn, but... It also says on Ravelry that it's a DK, 8-ply. So
it's more of a DK.
It's a very light worsted.
Yeah.
And so I knit this on 4.5mm needles, and it's very drapey, and it's quite a loose kind of gauge, which is actually really good from the point of view that although it's a worsted weight jersey, I'm actually wearing it at the moment through the beginning of summer. At work as a work jersey. I noted last time that it doesn't pill, it felts. So the yarn itself is 75% Falkland Corriedale and 25% Gotland. And I think it might be the Gotland that has a long staple on the
to stop it from
the fibre, and it's that stops the pilling. But again, you can certainly feel it. But I've decided that I love the colour. I mean, I've spent some time updating my Ravelry and some of the comments on my Ravelry patterns and things, and I mean this jersey is really all about the colour, which I haven't actually mentioned is Eric Northman,
which is from
It's from True Blood. Amy has a fun way of naming her colours. She names a lot of her colours after Game of Thrones, but this particular colourway is named after True Blood, which is
It's a TV show.
a TV show. The main
Not my cup of tea.
the main character is called Eric North. Well, one of the main characters is called Eric Northman. He's the head vampire, and so I'm guessing that it's named after the sort of the blood red color of the yarn.
It is very blood red.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's a great yarn. I would probably knit it with it again. I would probably do it on a tighter gauge, and see how that goes. I just obviously have to find the right jersey and get some more yarn.
You've got quite a long queue before you get.
I do. It won't be any time in the immediate future. I do have a couple of balls left over, so I was thinking about a hat, but a prickly hat is something that doesn't really.
I tell you what makes good knitting is hot water bottle covers for leftovers like that.
Yeah, maybe a prickly hot water bottle cover.
Because it doesn't matter if they're a little bit prickly.
Yeah, you get used to it anyway. I mean, like I say, we say it's prickly, you can feel it, but after you've had it on for 5 minutes. I mean, I'm wearing it with a t-shirt at the moment, so it's just fine. So yeah, that was sort of a long blurb about the yarn. The pattern itself, it was a simple pattern to knit. I enjoyed knitting it. Swath of stockinette. The only thing that had me pause a little bit was I wasn't sure about the width of the raglans. It's like an 8-stitch raglan. I thought they were a bit heavy. I kind of like something a little bit finer or a bit more intricate, but that was just an initial thing. I've gotten over that now.
You can't even really see the raglan. It kind of because it's.
I don't notice it. So, but yeah. So yeah, it's a good knit. It's a good solid sweater. That I reckon everyone should knit at least once. Definitely.
I definitely recommend it as a beginner pattern. We talked about it when I talked about mine, but it has tables where you figure out all your stitch counts based on your size, and then you transfer your stitch counts onto the pattern rather than having all of the stitch counts through the pattern. And for a beginner, that's a lot easier to follow.
Yeah.
It's kind of how Tinker's app works, and it's a much easier way to do it, and it explains everything really clearly, and Brooklyn Tweed have really good tutorials on how to do short rows and all of that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for someone to who wants to knit a jumper and they're looking for a beginner pattern, it's highly recommend this one.
Yeah. I mean, the toughest thing on it was the short rows. I'm still pretty rubbish at short rows. That is how I tell the back from the front. I just look for the short rows just up in here, the little triangle, which is a little bit more obvious than on the front than the back. So, but yeah, what are you wearing, Bebe?
I'm wearing Yume by Isabel Kramer. I knit this this year, earlier this year. It took me about a week. It's a very simple knit. I kind of follow the pattern. It's knit in Ashley 4-ply, which is a Wild Earth yarn, which is buttery soft, like it's the opposite of your crow worsted. It's so soft. It does pill a little bit, but I mean, I'm happy to be de-pilling. Like I've worn this a few times, and that's the level of pilling. That's not too bad. I do think though that the pattern doesn't necessarily suit the wool, because I think the pattern would probably be better on a Drapier wool, which is this quite a soft woolly wool.
It's quite a thick gauge.
Yeah, and the holes kind of look, I don't know. I did a couple of things that I knitted in blue for a start, and this is probably the only thing you're going to see me in blue so far. Oh, I've got two. No, I've got two.
I can think of another one.
Yeah, I've got two bloom. Oh, I've given that away.
Oh, you gave that one away? Oh, it's gone. Right.
But I'm going to knit more blue next year. That's one of my goals, because I do like blue. Anyway, so it's not a normal colour for me, and also this kind of feels a little bit Charlie Brownish to me. That it just... once you get something like that in your head, you can't get it out. But it's a really good knit, and I really love just throwing it on. It's nice and warm, but not too warm, because it's kind of drapey. Like I made it kind of oversized. I'll stand up so you can see. And I also made the arm. I didn't do any decreases in the arm, because I wanted it to be kind of oversized and drapey, and it fits a gap in my wardrobe perfectly. Like a weekend, grab it and go. If I know it's going to be colder later, kind of in the spring, summer, autumn time period, it's perfect for that. The colorway is Ocean, and it's not on a 3.75 mil needle. It's a great pattern. So it's a top down yoked sweater, super easy. I did what I always do, and I cast it on at the yoke and knitted down, and then picked up the neckline because I like a nice high neckline. But I think that in the pattern there is no, it's just a rolled. She says I think she has you pick it up at the end, but knit a couple of rows and then cast it off again. And I chose to do a proper neckline on it. You may. Isabel Kramer.
Whoa. Right, so moving on from what we're wearing to finished objects.
What have you managed to finish, Stephen?
Yeah, well, I'm still going. Look, this is going to be a theme for a number of episodes.
You're going to be so sick of hearing about it.
You really will. Like I say, I'm not a fast knitter. Bebe's a fast knitter. I'm a slow, methodical knitter, and I like to knit the complicated things.
And cut to the chase.
Complicated things take time. Well, you'll see them in whips.
No.
Oh, well, my one finished object.
Yeah.
We decided that feathers was a finished object.
Each one.
Okay,
There's only 60 of them.
So in the last 2 weeks, I've managed to knit one additional feather. So I've
They
now
are
got.
so pretty,
I've
though.
got 3. So yeah, I think this was actually the one I knit here. This is the new one.
They are getting better the more you do.
Yeah, the first one I think I steam blocked the first one. I haven't steam blocked these other 2 yet, and this one feels a little bit like a pancake. I squashed it.
Oh, yeah.
Too much, I think.
Oh,
so.
yeah, you did.
So, live and learn. I mean, these are the things that we learn along the way. I did.
Hold the iron up.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say I did. I probably didn't. I was like...
Okay, anyway.
And I got excited. So, so yeah, these are getting better. The cast-ons are good. Seriously, it's not what you would call much at the moment. But hey, it's a slow progression. As I get sick of doing sheet shader, I can whip out another feather.
Yeah.
They
don't take long. They only take about half an hour each.
A little bit longer than half an hour, but yeah, they really don't take long. It's the sort of thing you can just sit down and, over the course of an episode of TV or something, just knock out a feather. It's really just 10 rows or so and a little bit of magic at the end. I am a little concerned over how many ends I'm going to wind up with. It's like 6 ends per feather times 20 times another 3, so there's going to be a few hundred ends just in the feathers, so that'll be interesting. So maybe I'll spend some time just weaving in ends over the course of weeks as well. So
I would wait till you constructed them to weave them in.
Yeah, the construction of them.
You can use the construction to weave them in.
Yeah, I'm a little bit excited about that next step. I've really hit in the pattern, and putting them together is going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun piece of work. I'm quite looking forward to it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so no finished objects, sorry. No real finished objects, but...
Well, I got a couple.
Yeah.
First of all, I knitted my baker's hat. I've knitted one before. I've already gifted it. It was a Secret Santa gift knit, so I'm not going to put it on the screen or anything. You'll just have to remember what it looks like, and I'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
It's a really good hat pattern by Emily Russell. I knitted it in the Wild Earth Yarn Naturals in a dark brown.
Yeah, you have done my baker's hat before too.
Yeah, I knitted one while I was away. It's a really good basic beanie that has a nice brim on it, and it has like a flat top. Like a lot of beanies nowadays have like a point, come up to a point, but I quite like that it has rapid decreasing, so it creates like a nice flat top with a nice 4-point decrease pattern.
Yeah, so I think if you skip back a couple of episodes, just have a wee look at the titles, and one of them will have my baker's hat on it. So if you want an example of what it looks like, you can dig into an old episode and have a look.
Yep. And then also for a Secret Santa for somebody I know doesn't watch the show, because it's one of my staff members, we had to get a $5 Secret Santa.
Yep.
So I cheated. Didn't count my time, and also didn't count the yarn because it's all stash yarn, and it's yarn that I wouldn't probably otherwise use. And I knitted a Sophie scarf. Yeah, this is the scarf version. So this is knitting, man, if you could feel this. Kashgora, so cashmere and angora, knit with Isia soft silk mohair. It is amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Hopefully she doesn't hate it. I mean, she can always re-gift it if she doesn't like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like buttery soft.
It's so amazing. Yeah, I haven't blocked it yet, so it'll grow a little bit. And I knitted it a little bit bigger than the pattern. But I basically wanted to use up the whole ball. I didn't quite get there, but close. So I knitted a few flat rows in the middle, which aren't in the pattern, so you can kind of see it flattens out in the middle before it goes down the other side. And I also knitted it on a bigger needle than suggested, because I quite like it being a bit kind of drapey. So I knitted it on a one needle size larger than suggested, which I can't remember what it is. I think I knitted it on 4, and it's recommended a 3.5. And I did the decreases the right way around this time. I've knitted 4 of these. And the first 3 times I made the same mistake. And that was that you're supposed to knit and then increase or decrease and then knit to the end. But I kept knitting to the end and then doing the decreases at the other end. And I'm sure it didn't make any difference, except that the decreases are hidden in, when you do them on this side, they're hidden in the turning of the I-cord edge, but on this side they're not. So I mean, I'm assuming this looks better, but I can't really tell the difference. Anyway, so that's the Sophie scarf, and that will be going to its recipient next week.
Ooh,
for our Christmas party, our team Christmas party. And then I also finished this little number. So this is for our new baby on the way. And it's just a basic little blanket. So this is kind of cot size or pram size, designed to be one of those kind of grab and go little blankets that you take out and about, or, you know, tucking them into their bassinet or whatever. I call it a nana blanket. So when I was growing up, my nana crocheted blankets, and crocheted or knitted. Girls got crochet, boys got knits. I don't know why. Everyone got one. There was a lot of us. And we called them our nana blankets. I still have my nana blanket. I have my son's nana blanket. He was the last one to get one before my grandmother died. So now I'm the grandmother. I'm knitting nana blankets. So I've knitted one for each of the grandchildren and my children.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter
and
who missed
their partners,
out.
yeah.
And their partners. Yeah, my daughter who missed out on one, and Bronwyn. And Isaac has one. I haven't made one for Silky yet, but there's still time. And anyway, so that's for the new baby, and I'll bring it into the hospital when I come in to I'm on birth support. Yeah, and that is all of my finished objects. So I basically spent the last 2 weeks since I saw you last, like, hard out doing some gift knittings in order to get through some Secret Santa, like, just kind of get things that I was working on done, and it's a good feeling.
That's cool. Great.
Whips, do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll start.
Are you ready? This is
surprise, surprise.
She Shader.
I'm still working on She Shader, but you know, I have a few thoughts, and I can show some progress.
Yeah, you've definitely made tons of progress.
So I'll just make sure I don't whip anything off the needles.
Be careful with the mic.
Yep. Okay, so I also seem to have got myself a bit tangled. So
maybe
hang on.
Hold it upside down. Is it that easier?
No, we're good.
Okay.
So this is a cardigan. It's currently knit, well, the bottom part is knit in the round with a steek, as you'll recall. So it's a little bit unwieldy, but I've now knit up the first side of...
You need to hold it up. Need to hold it up a bit higher.
A bit higher. Sorry. My bad. Okay, so this is like a reverse cardigan. So the buttons are at the back, and so what we're looking at here is this is the
No,
front.
Goes like, that's the steak.
Yeah, the steek's at the back.
Yeah.
So I've knit up the back side of one arm, and am currently knitting up the front.
So I'll hold these. So that's the back.
Yep, and this is the front, and then effectively, I've got the one more panel on the back to go once I've finished the front. But what I haven't done,
If you
hold it upside down, yeah. What I haven't done is I haven't cast this off yet. It says in the pattern to cast it off and finish the shoulder shaping, but I figured what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that last. So because it's designed to be quite, not so much negative ease, but not a lot of ease, I've decided that I'm going to, and I can't really try it on because, well, Bebe can't try it on because it's bottom up. So I'm not going to...
I have done it try on though.
Yeah.
It's fine. I tried it on before you split the sleeves just to get the...
Yes.
And it fits fine around my torso.
So far that's good. So I'm just hedging my bets on the length next as well. So I'm going to knit the panels in the front, and then before I cast them off, we'll have another try on session, and just to make sure I don't need to add any more or take any away.
Although that will affect the armholes, so you've got to be careful.
It will, which is why I haven't started the arms yet. So I've got a plan, and we'll see how that goes. The other thing I was going to mention is I said a while ago, and I still consider myself to be an intermediate knitter, because I tend to make the odd silly mistake, or not mistake, but I don't think of things like I should when I should. So as I was knitting up this, well, actually I was doing the decreases on the front here, because the sleeve shaping, it decreases away, and I did this on the panel as well, and it's like it talks about doing, cast off some stitches, and then every alternate row cast off a stitch, and it talks about decreasing at each end on certain rows, and so I was doing cast off on as I was going up, and I had to cast off one at each end. I was actually doing a cast off, and then it occurred to me, because it was sort of, you get a wee bump when you do the cast off, and it's not even or neat. And I was like, oh, I don't care because it's going to get sucked up into the seam anyway. But then I was like, light bulb moment. I should just knit two together. So I was like,
what were you doing?
I was actually doing a cast off.
Oh, rather than a decrease.
So I was casting off one. It says cast, decrease one. It was like,
it says decrease one, and you were casting them
that's
off.
correct, because I had cast off in my head, because as
Yeah.
you do the underarm part, you cast off. So I mean, I still make silly choices from time to time, and then you have these light bulb moments when you're like, oh.
So did you go back?
No, it's going to get sucked up in the seam, so it'll be fine.
Did you change it?
I've changed the way I'm doing it now, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So is that there?
Yeah, you can see the little bumps.
Oh, yeah. So you can see little bumps along there, which you're never going to be able to see.
No.
So, yeah.
So like I said,
no.
Not a big deal.
I'll be able to see it.
But it is. It's
I'll complain about it.
It's funny. It's like the more you do these things, the more things that you make little errors and things, and then you learn from them, and then you suddenly go, oh, well, there's a better way, and then you just carry on doing things the better way. So hopefully I'll live and learn from that. But yeah, so that she shader. Yeah, which
shoulder shaping for shoe shader is what you're up to.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, I'm not actually sure we're saying that right.
Why?
So I did some research, and she shader is, I believe, a town on one of the on Harris Isle, I think. So it's an actual place, and I suspect it's going to have
Could be called Shishader or something.
Yeah, Shishader or something like that. I suspect it's got some sort of Gaelic-y type pronunciation around it. However, I thought I would be clever and do some Wikipediaing and things, but it doesn't have its own entry, and there's no actual
so if you
pronunciation gauge. Yeah. If we've been saying it right, if we've been saying it wrong, give us some pronunciation lessons. But No, so that's what I've been doing. I don't have any more whips. I've been quite monogamous on She Shader. Bebe.
All right, me. I just to give you an update on a whip that's been languishing, and that's the the Stockholm slip-over V-neck.
So that's the one you're waiting on.
More
More yarn?
So I played yarn chicken and lost badly, and like I don't know what I was thinking. There was no way. Like this is the end of the yarn, and I'm still miles off finishing. So I ordered more from Miss Babs. I checked in where it was at. I was reading out the journey that the yarn's been on to Stephen last night. It went from where it started, and then it's bounced around the United States. I don't know how this happens, but
like 4 states or 5 states.
5 different states before it's come to us, and now it's sitting in Auckland in New Zealand. And I'm just so I should get it during the week. Yay! I'm excited because I really want to get it finished. I really want to be able to wear it before it's too hot to wear. Like, well, I mean that's not going to happen for me, but maybe there'll be. Yeah. Anyway, I want to be able to wear it. I'm really hoping that the ball that I've got matches the yarn that I already have. What I'm going to do is when I get the new yarn, I'm going to knit the sleeve. What are these things called? Cuffs? No, what are they called? Whatever.
Arms,
but it's just they're just ribbing. You pick it up and then you do ribbing.
Yeah. Are they called anything?
I don't know.
I don't know slip over lingo.
Cuffs. Anyway, whatever they are, I'm going to knit both of those first, and that will give me a bit of an indication of how different the yarn is. Not that I can do anything about it, or actually, what I can do. It would pay me to do so, but I could rip out the collar and use that yarn to finish the bottom because I'm very close to getting enough length to get into the bottom ribbing, and so I could use this yarn to get to the bottom, and then the ribbing will all be a different colour, which would be fine.
Yeah. That'd be all right.
So that might be an option. And then if it's still a bit short, I'll just do longer ribbing at the bottom in the different colour to extend the length of it. So that's definitely an option if I find that it's like markedly different, because it's one of the things that I have a little bit of OCD about is when there's any coloured variation in yarn, it upsets me. Yeah. And here I am knitting in variegated yarn.
You guys have seen this before.
Yeah, I just can't wear it if I can see a line of yarn in it. So that's that one, and I'm hoping by the time we podcast again in 2 weeks, it will be finished and I'll be able to wear it. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And then
speaking of
next whip, speaking of things that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, and colour variation.
Yeah, I don't know why I do this to myself. Like I say to myself, don't knit with variegated yarn because I don't like the way they change colour. And then I just love it. It's like shiny thing must have. And then I knit it up and I'm like, Stephen, can you see the stripe in the middle of it?
There's no stripe. They're all stripes.
There's a stripe in the middle, but you guys can see it. You can see that there's stripes in the middle.
Yeah, but the whole thing is striped.
I know.
So it's like, they're just different widths. So some are thick, some are thin. There's consistency and variation.
Anyway, so I meant to say too, the Stockholm slipover is a petite knit pattern. It's knit in Miss Babs Tart, that's the yarn type, and it's the Rhinebeck colourway, and also with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in Dusty Rose. So that's the Stockholm. I was going too fast. Sorry, I'm trying to get through this. This is the Tolster Tea by Rebecca Clow, and it is knit in Miss Babs Istrieta, I would say, and the colourway is Hot to Trot, so it's bright pink with some lighter pink and then with a thread of silver. Oh, I love it. I'm knitting this to wear on Christmas Day, hoping it'll be a fine day on Christmas, otherwise I'll freeze. I can always wear a jacket with it.
Yeah.
I just really love the lovely bright colour and just the look of the Tolster. I've knit a Tolster before for a friend, and so this Hi Irene. And so this is my second one, and I just really like the pattern. So this is a 4-ply yarn. It's a super wash. I'm kind of tempted to block it. I've never done that before I cast off the bottom, because I don't know how much it's going to grow. I don't think it will. I didn't swatch. I just cast it on. I don't even know if I've hit gauge. It fits me, so I'm not worried.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it's going to do when I wet it. So I'm actually thinking I'll put it on. I've got these. If you don't have these guys, these barber cords, they're so good for putting stitches on hold. So I'm thinking I might put the bottom stitches on hold before I cast it off, and block it, and then I'll be able to see the basic shape of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sensitive as to how far down it's going to be,
yeah,
it's probably a really good idea.
I do want it to fit well, because it's a t-shirt. It needs to. I don't want it to be too oversized, not too long. Yeah, so I think I will do that. I think that's all of my works in progress. I should give an update on. We'll do that in future plans, which I guess we're up to now. But some things that I've got outstanding that I haven't been working on.
Okay. All right then. So future plans. Shall I start? My future plans. I'm going to Seam Redford.
Yes. Is that your summer project?
Probably. It'll probably be finished for the end of summer, maybe. But yeah, no. If Redford is ready, then yeah, I'm gonna seam it up and start wearing it.
Yay. Okay. So I guess my summer project is to block Redford. I did make a promise that I would block it for Stephen so that he could get it seamed. So, but I commit to by the next episode, Redford will be blocked and ready for seaming.
Right, if that's the case, it might actually be a finished object next time, so we can look forward to that.
Maybe, because it's just such a good summer knit.
It is. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, to be honest. I mean, I'm kind of curious. It's
that's the fun of knitting in pieces.
Yeah, it's the most boring thing I've ever knit, so I'm not. It'll be interesting to see if some boring rectangles can come together and actually turn, transform into something that's really amazing. So
yeah, so Redford is a Julie?
No. Oh yeah, that's right. We said it was. He says a Brooklyn Tweed pattern, but by Julie Hoover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite an exacting pattern in terms of row counts and things. So
yeah,
many episodes ago, I lamented the fact that I was lying on the floor in the lounge trying to count up 400 rows, because honestly, it does its measurements to the row for each size, not to a length.
Stitch markers are your friend with that kind of thing.
It's not knit for 18 inches or whatever most patterns are. It's knit for this many rows, and so you've got to keep a track. So
okay, so just looking at our whiteboard list here. So I'm going to block Redford.
Yep.
And you're just going to keep on with She Shader and the eagle collar.
That's correct. Yep. Nothing new. And I am going to try not to cast on Glenesque that I mentioned last episode. I've resisted. Focused.
I think I need to hide that
Shader.
yarn to stop you from doing that, because I really want She Shader to be finished.
No, me too. I'm getting to the point I'd like some to move on. Yep.
So I'm going to finish Tolster Tea. I'm hoping to get that done this week, and I'm going to finish the Stockholm vest slipover, which I'm hoping to get done in the next 2 weeks. So that's my kind of next 2 weeks. I've also got a sock. You've seen one of them. It's just a I'm So Basic sock by Summer Lee. So I've knit one. I've just got to get the other one done. And then I have the small fry scarf. I actually have it here. So I'll just grab it out. Where did I put it?
Uh-oh.
Shoved it somewhere, but I can't remember where.
Okay.
Here it is.
It's planning for you.
Handy. So this is a small fry scarf that I started, and I kind of I started it just before we went on holiday because I thought I'd take it with me, but it was kind of a bit more involved, so I decided not to. It's knit in, again, the Kashgora, which is what I knit the Sophie scarf on. Very lovely soft wool. I really want to own it. I really love the colour. It's really my colour. But for whatever reason, I have not been enjoying knitting it. It kind of requires a bit of brain power, I think, that I don't currently have. So I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to get through my Tolster and my Stockholm, and then I'm going to make it in the sock, and then I'm going to make a decision about whether I want to frog it or finish it. I think I want to finish it, but I need to make a commitment and actually just knuckle down and get it done. And then more future plans for me. So I've been... we just dropped an episode last week, which was the everything I'm going to knit in 20... Well, it's actually not everything I'm going to...
Yeah.
It's probably about half of what I'm going to knit, let's face it.
Yeah.
So my top 20 knits for 2025, and I went through all of the things that I want to knit, and I went through all of the yarn that I'm going to use. So I printed out all the patterns and paired it all up with the yarn that I'm going to knit it in. And actually the My Baker's Hat was the first thing out of this that I knit. So one of the rules that I specified after the fact was that it would start on December the 1st, because I actually had a couple of things that I needed to get finished for Christmas, and the Baker's Hat was one of those. So my knitting for 2025 has begun. And the first thing in that, other than the My Baker's Hat, is Blessipper, which is a Gudgeon Johnston pattern. It's a beautiful all over lace sweater, and I really want to knit that. I have had a tradition over the last 2 years of casting something on Christmas Day and trying to get it finished in a week. So I'm not going to get it finished in a week, but I'll try and get it finished over my 2-week summer break. So that is my next kind of major project that I want to start. But I also have made a commitment to myself to finish Seaton. Seaton is languishing. I put it down before we went away and have not picked it back up. It's very unlike me. I always get things finished. I'm a finisher.
Yeah.
And so I need to seam up the shoulders and then do the neckline and then knit the sleeves. It's not actually that much to do in the scheme of things, and I think I'll enjoy it, but I just haven't done it. So they're going to be my summer plans, summer project plans. Yeah, I'm going to knit like woolly winter weight jumpers in the middle of summer. It'll be perfect.
Well, we have plenty of new things to wear.
Yeah, for next year, next winter.
Yes.
The blazer part will be a summer knit for me.
Nice.
It's got like elbow length sleeves, but I think I'm going to knit it full length. But we'll get to that when I get to it. So heaps of plans. I'm gonna I feel like I'm just gonna stay home and knit over Christmas.
I think you might be right. There's lots. I mean, it's been a busy
That's
year.
Perfect.
So
it's been a busy year.
It's gonna be good to just sort of take a breath and put your feet up and smell the roses.
Yeah, absolutely. I should also say we're not up to. Well, I guess we're up to acquisitions and we don't have any. But I received a Secret Santa gift, which I absolutely love. The colour is beautiful. It's another little Sophie, which I love. Like I say, I've knit 4 of these, well, 5 counting the one I knit as a gift, and I just love them. I have a pink one, and then I have a black one, and I have another pink one, and now I have a purple one. It's so cute. And it looks like it's exactly knit to pattern, and this was for a knitting group that I sometimes attend. Hi everyone who watches at Wild Earth Yarn, and this is knit in Wild Earth Yarn, and the idea was to knit something using a 50-gram ball of Wild Earth Yarn, and so obviously the person achieved the mission. Yeah. And I absolutely love this.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Such a little cutie scarf. If you're looking for something quick to knit as a Christmas gift, it's really good. And you can wear it in a lot of different ways. You can kind of wear it, like...
It's the Sophie fashion show.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just love it.
They are quite clever.
It is very cute.
Yeah.
And it's really easy. It's just an 8-row repeat. I won't say anything more, but yeah, so cute and so good. Like when you're out and it's really cold and you just want something around your neck, and then if it gets a bit warm, you can just take it off and shove it in a pocket or a bag, and it's, you know, easy just to grab and go. And this one's so soft and warm. It's knit in, it must be the woolen spun. So beautiful. So thank you, whoever knitted that.
Yeah.
My secret Santa.
Anything else that we're not really acquiring anything much at the moment, are we?
Yeah, so one of the things that we have decided, well, I kind of decided for myself, and Stephen is on board.
I usually only purchase yarn for
things
specific
that we need.
knits. Yes.
Yeah, is that I want to reduce the stash a little bit in the coming year. So, and partly it's, if I'm honest, so I can stash more yarn, because my tastes have changed a little, and I kind of want to explore other yarns, and there's new yarns being put out all the time. So I want to be able to buy a sweater quantity of something and knit it rather than buy it and stash it. So I kind of want, but I also don't want to have a giant stash of yarn. Like, it's not something that feels good to me to own something for the sake of owning it. I want to be able to, I want it to have utility. I want to be able to use it. So yeah, my goal is to get rid of a good portion of my sweater quantities of yarn during the year.
Mm-hmm. So if we go to any yarn shows and things, then you'll have some space to make acquisitions.
Yeah, because I think we've pretty much decided we want to go to Bendigo next year for the Australia sheep and wool show. And I'm assuming that I'll buy some yarn there, because I've never squished or seen or owned any Australian yarn at all.
We really haven't been exposed to it, to be honest. No.
Because I guess we're a competitor with Australia in terms of our merino industry. We don't have a lot of Australian yarn. I'm sure you could buy it, but I've never encountered it. So anyway, that'll be really exciting. So I need to knit lots and lots and lots so I can make room for more yarn later.
Yes. Actually, it's interesting thinking about it, is in our local yarn shops, I can't think of Australian brands. No. They don't seem to carry Australian.
Wild Earth have their own yarn, obviously.
Yeah, everyone seems to carry their own or local.
So Wild Earth has their yarn, they have their own brand. And then Outlaw has its own brand. So it has just Outlaw branded yarn. And then Get Flocked has a variety of a couple of New Zealand options. And then it has like a whole Isidia range and Vulcalana and some Spin Cycle and the Dererum Natura. So they have kind of European brands, which is good if you want to knit petite knit or any other ones like that, because that's what they mostly call for. So yeah, we have a really good selection of yarn available. And then there's the kind of big box stores, or the chain stores. So we have Knit World, which it probably does have Australian yarn.
We just don't know.
We just don't really go in there for that. And then there's we have Spotlight, which is a big box store which has mostly Chinese yarn, and then Lincraft, which is Australian, but I've never seen Australian yarn in there. It's mostly acrylic, to be honest, in Lincraft. Yeah, so it would be good to be able to explore that, and it reminds me we really must book some accommodation.
Yeah, here it disappears quickly. So yeah.
Anyway, I think that just about does us. We need to get cracking with some knitting, so we've got something to show you. If you haven't seen it, do feel free to check out my what I'm planning on knitting in 2025. There might be some little gems in there for you, and I'm really keen to have feedback on what you're planning on knitting in 2025, because I've got 20 things in there, but I'm likely to knit more than 20 things. I think this year I've knit 45 items, and that includes, baby booties and socks and hats and blankets and then about 20 something jumpers. So I'm always looking for new pattern ideas. If you like that one thing that you're like, oh, I must knit this, if you have that, feel free to pop a comment on that episode or this one, totally fine. I'm really interested to hear what your plans are. And the other thing I'm interested to hear about is, well, we're interested to hear is how you go about planning your knitting. Is it just that you're knitting something and you have a woman knit the next thing, or are you more like me? Because that's more like Stephen.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I knitting next? Not sure. I'll see when I get there. Or are you more of a plans person? Like I'm super comfortable and happy with having the next 20 knits mapped out for me. Like that's like great. I feel happy and content because I know what I'm doing for the next
Very
6
secure.
months.
Yeah.
And that's the project manager in me, I guess. I like to be organised and everything under control. What kind of knitter are you? Do you like to just do things on a whim, or do you have lots of plans and work your way through? And how do you manage your plans if you're a plans person? Like I have a Ravelry queue, and so my Ravelry queue currently has 20 things in it. Well, actually it has 19 because I've already knit one of them. And then as I get closer to finishing that queue, I'll start adding things at the bottom. And so I use the Ravelry queue as my knitting queue.
Yeah, whereas my queue is random things I'd like to knit, but in no particular order. So I'll often sort of clear the needles, be ready to start something, and then something shiny will show up, and that'll be the thing that I start on, and everything else just gets bumped down the list. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we're interested in hearing a little bit more about what you do.
Yes.
All right, so I think we're done, are we, for
it brings
another
us to the
episode?
End. Thanks for watching.
We really appreciate watching. We appreciate the comments that you make. We're really interested in what you have to say.
And we appreciate the time that you take to watch us as well. And we also appreciate any likes, subscribes, anything along those lines.
We're very close to getting to 1,000 subscribers, and we thought we might do a giveaway when we get there.
Maybe, yeah.
So if you haven't subscribed, and you like us, do feel free to subscribe to the show, because it does make a difference to us. They're silly goals, but and it doesn't seem like a lot when you think of, some people have thousands and thousands of subscribers, but we're pretty excited at the idea of getting to 1,000.
Yeah, it's a wee milestone.
Yeah.
And then 2,000 and 3,000.
Well, we'll worry about 1,000 first.
Million?
No, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, well,
Anyway, so thanks for being here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Ka kite.
Goodbye.